Okay, we've got that all cleaned and reshaped through here. The trigger inside the trigger guard is all cleaned and reshaped. Much smoother through here now. You can see it's a clean, even line. I can run my finger across it, not a big thump now. Not all bumpy in there. So much cleaner. Much cleaner back here. Now once I get all this done, I'll take this plate off and clean the black goop out of the seams so you don't see the seams as bad. But like I said there, looking there, it's much more even and ready to go. And I can put the trigger stop back in there, or not trigger stop, but the safety bar, the trigger safety back in here in a minute. I took that out so I could sand that off. But the gun is coming along pretty well. Okay, I got the bottom all done here. There's that double line is gone. I've got that to where this actually blends down into it again on both sides now. So that's finished. Took care of a nick back here that I had not noticed. I don't know if maybe I put it there while I was working on the gun, but I got that redone, re-beveled the top, re-flattened the back. Did a little work on the underside through here to get rid of some nicks. Got rid of some nicks and some little lines that were across the front here where they didn't mill it properly on the front. So the gun is now ready to bead blast. So I think the next thing I'll be doing is getting this thing over in the blaster, putting a matte finish over all of it before I start polishing the flats back down. The media I'll be using to bead blast the tops is a garnet mixture. It's basically a crushed garnet. It's more abrasive than the glass bead. As you can see, it has a reddish hue to it here. And that will give me that nice, really matte, low glare finish around the sights that I want to reduce glare, which would prevent me from getting a good sight picture. Okay, it is all bead blasted down now. As you can see, it's a very flat finish. I've used a garnet bead on this, which takes it down to like the factory flats. And then I'll just buff back out the sides here with some sandpaper to get it back brushed. I'll set up a little jig and do that. And I'll show you that later, but one thing I want to show you here after you do this, the next step after you do this is not to go on with finishing, is to clean the thing up. You have to clean it before you can do any more, because look at all this that gets inside the gun. This is with the gun all sealed up and everything. It just gets fouled up nasty, so you have to make sure to clean the gun out thoroughly, especially around where the firing pins are. You got it, and all the mechanism inside here, there's just sand and everything, and sand will stop something from functioning. So I will be spending the next half hour just dousing this in oil, blowing it out with an air compressor, dousing with oil, blowing it out with the air compressor again and again and again until I have everything out of it. Okay, just a little quick way to show you here how I polish the flats back up. I just stick a piece of sandpaper on a piece of wood, spray it down with some oil, put a straight edge, use a flat part of the gun to use it along your straight edge, and just slowly work back and forth. If you try this by hand, you won't get your grain straight. If you use a little guide like this and just rub back and forth, you'll get a good straight brushed grain like they get from the factory. As you can see here, if I pull this up, just after a few seconds, you can start to see it's starting to have the brushed look back in the metal there on the flat. So I'll just keep doing that till it has it all the way around. Okay, if you want to see how the tiniest little piece can make a man about have a stroke, there's this little bar right here that goes in here, and that's what the trigger makes contact with to activate the hammer. It's right there. It's hard to see. It's a little tiny piece. Well, that wasn't resetting to where my trigger was catching, and I couldn't figure out why. I thought, did a piece fall out? Did whatever happen? Well, if you notice, there's that little hole right there. Inside that little hole is this tiny little pin, and it's on a spring. This resets that little bar. Well, a piece of the sand had gotten in there, was keeping this from acting properly. You know, you can't even see that when this thing's together. I mean, you can't even tell it's in there. So I was about to have a stroke trying to figure out, well, did a piece fall out? What did I do wrong? Did I put it back together wrong? What happened? So that little piece right there was causing a lot of trouble. So it goes in that little hole, resets this little piece, makes it to where the trigger works. So when you're taking these things apart, make sure you know where every little piece is, or else you'll be like me and you'll be sitting here pulling your hair out what little you have left, trying to figure out why things aren't working. Okay, I got it back in there now. The little piece resets like it's supposed to. So now my trigger should work. Okay, finally got it finished. As you can see here, got it put back together. The trigger is working now. It resets after each shot. Didn't do that before because I had that little pin stuck. But, I bead blasted it all down. Then I re-brushed out the flats. The flats are all re-brushed. Got a little shine to them now. Fixed that big divot on the back here. Fixed the latch overall to where it actually closes properly now. Doesn't have that big opened. It's not, half closed like it was. Took the nick off right there. That nick is gone. Took the scratches out of the front. Evened up along this right here as much as I possibly could. It's smooth through here now. Not a big jagged lump there like there used to be. Smoothed out the back strap here. Evened it up. Gave it a nice kind of like a pearly finish. Along with this, and the flats here gave them all the same pearlish finish. Smoothed it out around in the trigger guard area here. Fixed some little nicks and scratches on the top. Took out that divot in front of the front sight. So overall, a lot of work, but it's a very cool looking little pistol now. So I kind of happy with it. So was definitely worth the work, even though it did take me forever to get the parts back in the right places because I forgot to take a picture first and had to figure out where some springs went and had to figure out why some things weren't working. But after a little trial and error, got it fixed, and now it's a very cool little gun. You ain't even my real dad.